Welcome to another installment of Deconstructing Babylon, where we discern the signs and symbols of the mystery religion of Hollywood Babylon. I'm the Discerning Clerk, and I use a biblical framework to deconstruct my favorite movies from the 90s. Although these days I've been considering expanding my purview to the 80s and early aughts, so you'll probably see more of both of those in the coming months. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate every view, every comment, even the nasty ones, and every subscriber. Though I always say, don't follow me, follow the one who saves you. When you do click the subscribe button, it helps me to know I'm not alone and that you like the content I'm putting out there. We've been breaking down some pretty intense films lately, so let's lighten the mood with today's selection, Encino Man. This one was released in 1992 and receives 3 stars from the Video Movie Guide, which says, "This teen comedy about a couple of misfits who find a caveman frozen in their backyard is surprisingly funny. Sean Astin and Pauly Shore are best friends who defrost the prehistoric man." Rated PG. I actually despise the word prehistoric. What does it even mean? What happened before history? Isn't it all history? They may as well say pre-creation. And we've been sold the idea that early man was dumb, with no language, no technology, no innovation. And that's simply not true. The earliest civilizations were much smarter than we are today. They had language, invention, and even technology. Alrighty, let's see what we see in Encino Man. The movie opens with some misty, hazy shots of mountainous wilderness. We meet a young couple living in a cave covered in animal furs for warmth against the cold and snow outside. At first glance, they both appear to be black, but it's really blackface. The man is desperate to start a fire, but the earth starts shaking, and I guess they are both instantly cryogenically frozen. Cut to the modern day, and a similar earthquake wakes up one of our main students, Dave Morgan. Our story takes place in California, where they've been predicting the big one, earthquake, for decades. The one that will change the landscape of the country and swallow the West Coast into the ocean.
I hate those things.
Dave is determined to dig out his backyard for an in-ground pool, which is the major inciting plot point. Lo and behold, Dave has a dog, a golden lab type, who is already warning Dave to what lies beneath. As we know, a dog in a movie is the occultic law of reversal that Hollywood Babylon uses to indicate God to the director or the associated character. Then we meet Dave's best friend, strange outcast Stanley Stoney Brown.
Grab a shovel, man. No, I just want to munch.
We learn these friends are nearly done with high school as their senior prom looms, and unfortunately, neither have dates and aren't considered popular among their peers. Stoney doesn't care what others think of him, but Dave is quite concerned with his poor reputation.
I'm gonna be the prom king, and I'm gonna graduate a legend.
Typically, this line wouldn't necessarily mean anything, but my breakdowns aren't very typical. So when I hear the title King, Queen, Prince, or Goat, it immediately makes me think of what Paul speaks about in Ephesians regarding rulers, powers, and principalities of dark forces in the heavenly places. Basically, dark spirits with authority. Usually I see this with references to Elvis Presley, the king of rock, Madonna, the queen of pop, Prince, and Michael Jordan, the Goat. But I'm also going to apply it in the case of the prom king. So the two friends arrive at school, and we learn Dave has a big crush on a girl named Robin Sweeney. And the way he talks about her is giving major misogyny.
She's clean, buddy. And he's got her.
Stoney reminds his friend that he could have been dating her since middle school, but now she's with hockey jock Matt Wilson. Our players all gather in the classroom to learn about Cro-Magnon Man, the alleged prehistoric caveman who lived during the Ice Age.
He's dope. I'd go out with him.
This is Ella, Robin's best friend. Back at the dig site, Dave makes a cool discovery. He finds a bowl etched with a spiral in the center. Stoney calls it a Mousterian bowl from the Mousterian era, but Wikipedia tells me that these artifacts were based in Europe and Asia, not the Americas. Anyway, I'm more interested with the spiral symbol inside, as those who are awake know this particular symbol means something very dark. Sex trafficking of little boys. Another earthquake helps to reveal more than ancient tools, but a person, frozen and preserved in ice in Dave's backyard.
There's a guy buried in my pool.
Dave's dog does the rest of the digging, as Dave and Stoney look on with fear and concern. You've heard me point out duality in films before, especially red and blue or black and white, as they relate to the Freemasons. Very rarely do we see this pink and blue duality. these colors that have recently been added to the pride flag for trans representation. This pink and blue duality is seeming to point to gender transitions, either for the characters or the actors directly.
I won't be part of anything, Dave. I'm happy just to be me.
Stoney rightly observes they have unearthed a caveman, and Dave immediately wants to exploit the discovery for his own personal gain. Reluctantly, Stoney agrees to help. It gets weirdly sexual when they bring the ice block in to thaw. But after swearing Stoney to secrecy, Dave immediately tells Robin in a bid to impress her, I suppose.
Dave, I just don't think I'm ready to handle a caveman.
Meanwhile, the caveman is indeed thawing out and waking up. Of course, he's immediately confused by his surroundings and current situation. The dog approaches, and neither of them are afraid of the other. But the caveman is afraid of the strange machines that fly overhead and roll through the streets. Dave and Stoney return to find the empty ice, yet unaware their discovery has made himself comfortable in Dave's house.
This is my room.
Being the 90s, we get a little makeover montage as Dave and Stoney try to help their new discovery fit in a bit more and smell a bit less. They show him himself in a mirror, and what do we know about mirror symbolism? More duality, the inner man.
I mean, we've got the missing link standing in my bedroom.
The name they choose for the caveman is Link, based on this gross misunderstanding. The missing link is an evolutionary phrase, as the missing link indicates a humanoid that is in the in-between stage of man's evolution from monkeys. If that were true, Link would look more like a Sasquatch than a man. Dave lies to his parents about Link, telling them he's an exchange student that they agreed to host. He doesn't just lie to them, he gaslights and manipulates them.
Actually, I think now that I do recall something.
See? See? It's about focusing.
You're bogus.
Larry, how could I forget something like this?
Well,
He's an exchange student. He's going to be staying in our house
How
for
could you have forgotten about me in the 3rd grade? I spent the entire night after the play in the parking lot.
The next day, Dave and Stoney bring Link to their high school, and Dave still plans to exploit him for his own popularity, while Stoney feels increasingly uncomfortable with the idea.
We found him. We can do whatever we want with him.
We, no. You. I just want to be his friend.
I didn't notice until now that the mascot for their high school is a woolly mammoth, a so-called prehistoric beast. Seems convenient. When Link sees Ella, he's immediately smitten. He doesn't speak much and communicates more with his actions.
Is this dude totally fundamental or what?
Ella seems to like the aggressive attention, but Matt perhaps considers Link a threat to his alpha male top dog position. We are shown some random students dancing in the hallway, and this is pretty blatant black and white duality, and Link is drawn in. At family dinner, we don't see Link eating with the family. Rather, he slurps condiments, catches flies, and eats the dog's food. Out of his own bowl, mind you. That night, Dave and Stoney bring Link to a place called Blades, where all the cool kids hang out. And while Link was invited, Dave and Stoney aren't quite welcome.
You just think I'm bad for your act, that's all.
Right, and you think I'm good for yours.
Dave continues to exploit others for his own popularity, and Matt doesn't take too kindly to this, especially when it's his girlfriend, Robin.
Are you deaf to her? Didn't I forbid you to speak to her?
Link steps in to help his friend, and Matt sees this as an opportunity to assert his dominance. This doesn't seem to impress people, least of all Robin, who immediately breaks up with him. Yet Link's passivity is impressive to the onlookers, except for Dave.
A pacifist caveman? You're mental.
We get another montage of Link becoming more popular at school just because he doesn't put up a pretense and doesn't try to change others.
Why doesn't that happen when Matt hits me?
Then the class go on a field trip to a natural history museum, and Link suddenly comes face to face with his former reality, which greatly disturbs him. All these memories flooding back for him, he also remembers what he lost.
He knows, Dave.
What?
He knows.
Dave and Stoney are once again giving us the trans dual colors. Hijinks ensue that involve Link driving a car on 2 wheels, and the odd foursome end up at a Mexican bar, though they are underage. Well, not Link, I guess. Meanwhile, Matt looks into Link's school record to find out where he came from.
What are the 2 biggest losers in school hiding?
A dog?
Matt then tries to firm up his plans with Robin for the prom, but she tells him she'd rather go with someone who isn't afraid to be himself. And that person isn't Dave either.
This is my one phone call. And I'm using it to ask you to go to the prom with me. So just say yes, okay?
No.
Why not?
I want to go with Link.
Dave and Link were both in police custody, arrested for underage drinking, I guess, and yet there are no consequences for either of them.
Hey, wait, how's jail? You meet anyone?
Dave is hurt by Robin's rejection, and he blames everyone but himself. So he sends Link away, or he tries, at least, to release him into the wild. But Stoney confronts him and won't let him get away with it.
He's not my responsibility. You're the one who wheezed off his gig the whole time, because you thought maybe you'd get you somewhere.
The friends throw a few punches until Link intervenes and reminds them both what's important. That night, Link does take Robin to the prom, while Dave and Stoney sit at home. And Matt, looking to get revenge, finds evidence of the truth about Link. Just as Robin and Link are being crowned prom queen and king, Matt interrupts to tell everyone what he's discovered about the man they're about to revere.
Do you want to know what he really is?
The students don't really care that Link is a caveman. In fact, they seem to like it. They show us more blue spirals as Dave and Stoney rush in to stop Matt. Link humiliates Matt once and for all, and no one is crowned prom king. The party continues back at Dave's house and his unfinished pool, which is full of dirty water. Then Dave and Robin finally kiss.
Oh, damn.
Link and Stoney see some evidence that a cave woman has been unearthed, and it's Link's mate, who gives herself a bath, and Stoney gives her a makeover. Surprisingly, this development didn't trigger a sequel, Encino Gal. The final image is Link's grinning face as he's reunited with the one he lost in the beginning.
I'll be back.
My mistake. It was never a sequel to this movie, but a return for Pauly Shore in Son-in-Law, which I've already deconstructed on the channel. Well, color me surprised. I was definitely not expecting what we just saw here. To be very honest, I thought I would primarily be spending my time debunking evolution. And while that narrative was definitely present, even up front if you will, it was not the primary underlying message I saw. And I'm not quite sure how to reconcile a silly teen comedy with the trans messaging and sex trafficking symbols of little boys. Are they trying to tell us that Link is really one of these traumatized boys? Are they trying to indicate that Dave and Stoney are really trans boys? Well, maybe Stoney. There was a quick scene with Link and Stoney at a theme park, and the two of them torment a panda mascot. The symbolism with the panda is deep and dark. Black and white duality, of course, but the giant panda is portrayed with two black eyes. And the black eyes are indicative of a result of extreme and usually forced sodomy. Stoney even makes mention of Link resembling him and suggests they call him Stoney number 2. So it stands to reason that Stoney may also be a traumatized trafficked boy and is also trans as a result of the trauma. The dog was more involved with Link, more present as a comfort to him, which is fascinating to me. Because if Link truly was a caveman, he'd view the dog as a food source or a threat to life, and the dog would respond to him as an abomination. But he's just a sad boy who needs the healing presence of the Most High. Dave was definitely presented as the poor, misunderstood, bullied nerd. All he wanted was to be known and accepted, to get the girl and be the king. But the way he treated his friends and family makes me think he's really the bully. Yet he was so covert about it, and it came with a shroud of innocence, which is insanely manipulative. He is perhaps presented as a handler of some kind, of both Stoney and Link. He needs to keep them in line and keep them complacent. But this responsibility eventually goes to his head, and he believes himself more important than he's perceived. Unfortunately, Robin is just a pawn in Dave's manipulation, and she eventually falls under his spell. And the only one who truly sees what Dave really is Matt. Even though Dave takes cover behind Link, and Matt takes it out on Link, but Matt seems to be the only one who wants to protect Robin and hold Dave accountable. He's not swayed by his manipulations, but he's the bad guy, right? I do just want to bring it back to something I said earlier, and that is that the earliest man was much smarter than the modern man. Even the first man, called Adam by the Most High, was given the impossible task of naming every animal and plant in Eden. He was no dummy. Going on from there, just a few generations later, men were building cities, making music. Truly, these were the fathers of invention. So much so, their creation to build a tower to reach the heavens caused the Most High to intervene and confuse their languages, lest their ingenuity be successful. These were not nonverbal oafs who couldn't start a fire. They were brilliant. And frankly, it's only gone downhill since. Thank you so much for enduring to the end. Give the video a thumbs up if you agree and a thumbs down if you disagree. Comment below what you think I missed with this one and to suggest any 90s movie you think I should deconstruct in the future. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more content like this, but don't follow me. Follow the one who saves you. And until next time, keep looking up.
Mr. Morgan, if you're edged because I'm wheezing on your grind, it's just chill. Because if I had the whole Brady Bunch thing happen at my pad, I'd go grind over there. So don't tax my gig so hardcore, Custer.